Hi teammates, this is Kristen Epper with Work Like a Girl, and I am coming at you to talk about our upcoming workshop, Goal Digger, G-O-A-L, How to Advocate for Self. So the reason behind this workshop is Equal Pay Day was last week, and honestly, it just really pissed me off. Every year we celebrate Equal Pay Day, celebrate in air quotes there, but it's an effort to show the discrepancy in pay between men and women, which on average is about 20% more if you are a woman of color. And here's the deal. We have had the Equal Pay Act in place since 1963. John F. Kennedy was president when we said, hey, you can't pay women less than men. And yet it continues to persist. And here's the deal. It's going to take another 217 years before we come to gender pay parity. Now, think about that. Seriously. The United States has only existed for about 240 years. So we would have to have a whole other lifetime of our country for this to come to fruition. So we need to do more now in order to move the needle and to make sure that our voices are heard and we're paid what we're worth, and we stop being gaslighted and mansplained and have microaggressions happen to us. We need to make it to leadership positions today, not tomorrow. So there are two things that we can do in order to move this needle. One is learn the skills necessary to advocate for ourselves and learn what's going on. You know, what is this myth about women being inferior or femininity being inferior to masculinity? So we're going to talk about that in a series of upcoming webinars. I'm hoping to make this a series. I'm going to need your help and input in order to do that. But the other piece of this is we want to create a community so we can uplift one another. So for example, if somebody says, oh, Holly, she's just dramatic, and they dismiss someone's concerns or they make microaggressions in the workplace, we don't want her to be out there alone, this mythical creature named Holly I just created. But we want to be able to say, no, Holly has a point. No, we're going to amplify her voice. No, none of us want to endure this anymore. So that's the other part of the project, is to create this community. So before I log off, I wanted to give you a quick and what I have found to be incredibly helpful, one of my go-to tips when it comes to negotiations. So one of the things that happens when we're nervous, especially when we're advocating for ourselves and we take the answer on the other side of the negotiation very personally, is that we get very, very worked up. And rather than pausing and giving the other person an opportunity to consider what we've said, we attempt to explain, we attempt to continue to provide details, and a lot of times when we do that, we dig ourselves into a hole. So one of my top tips as far as negotiation is to write out what you want to say, explain your points, explain how what you add or what you need would actually add value to the organization, and then once you've done it, stop talking. Just be quiet. And I know that's so much harder to actually do than it is for me just to sit here and say it. And especially if you're in a heated conversation where someone is, attempting to throw facts at you and they are attempting to get under your skin, to be able to pause and to make direct eye contact and just not say anything until they've kind of worn themselves out. That is another tip. But silence is really, really helpful and very advantageous as part of the negotiation process. And we're going to talk a lot more about how to use that and some other tips as well on Thursday, April 26th. So I hope you'll be able to join me. There is a link below. This is a webinar that is at cost. We're trying to keep it as cheap as possible while covering costs so we can attract as many people and build the community just bigger and bigger and bigger. And a high tide will raise all of our ships. So I hope you will join us. If you have questions, let us know that as well. We're happy to answer questions, and we want to create a community that is safe and respectful. So please let us know how we can help you join us and do just that. Until next time, take care.